turn on your notification bell. You will still get those information you are looking for. Thank you.
Uphold the truth to avoid Nigeria sliding into anarchy. Gummi wants the Supreme Court. Now, Gummi, a well-known Islamic scholar from the northern Nigeria, has reacted to the just concluded presidential election. That's the outcome. Now, Gummi said, and I quote now, "I sincerely hope that the course of law this time will also prove its worth and uphold the truth. This is because if they don't, it may lead to a chaos no force can contain. The court is the last hope that Nigerians can resort at this moment. The legitimacy of a government can only be acquired when the election process is credible and transparent. When such is not in place, the government will run as a political imposition by a few privileged cabals. I implore the opposition parties to go to the Supreme Court to re-establish the supremacy of law and to teach our younger generation the value of resolving disputes through legal means rather than violence. I advise that people should let the entire litigation process run its course because it has a great deal of importance to our national health. I think the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, failed to follow its guidelines in conducting last week's election." End of quote. So, Gummi here admitted that the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, reneged, in their own promise to follow their own guidelines, to abide by the rules. Yes. So, and now Gummi is saying that the court that remains the last hope of the common man should stand firm in this regard to defend the truth. And what is the truth? That is what we are saying now. Gummi did not tell us anything. He was just merely saying that, look, the court should uphold the truth. Yes. But he has said it already, that the Independent National Electoral Commission, the umpire that conducted the charade, did not follow the guidelines, their own rules. So it is only in Nigeria, the contraption, where the agencies will not follow their rules. They will make rules for themselves, they will not follow it. So it is not, INEC is not the first. Nigerian government, being led by President Muhammadu Buhari, is chief in this regard. So they will make constitution, they will make laws, they will not follow it. We said it. When the court of competent jurisdiction discharged and acquitted the leader of the IPOB, the federal government refused to adhere to the rules. Buhari was the man that said that he will obey the court judgment. Buhari was the man that said that people should allow the judiciary, or himself, he will not coerce the judiciary, that he will not interfere, that they should be allowed to do their job. And once they make any proclamation, that he will abide by it. And after all, they made proclamation. Buhari failed to abide by it. And so, are you going to blame the INEC for reneging? Because the president is leading by example. He's there and they are following in his footsteps. All right? So they know that nothing will happen if they negate the rules. And that's what they have done. And they have conducted the charade. And so Gummi is saying people should go to court and show the younger generations that, look, this is the way to go. It's not the way of violence. Yes, but we have said it. The court in Nigeria, first of all, they said it's the last hope of the common man, but it's not true. That's number one. We have seen the pre-election cases that has been conducted by the Supreme Court or adjudicated by the Supreme Court. You see the case of Ahmed Lawan, the Senate president, who lost primary election in his home state. And the Supreme Court later brought him back, and today he has been elected and returned to the Senate. Yes, you talk about Akpabio from Akwa Ibom State. He lost the primary election. Yes, okay, he was one of the party's candidates. But Supreme Court later did the abracadabra, and today he's the candidate of the party. Not just the candidate, he has won the election in Akwa Ibom State. As a senator, has been returned to the Red Chamber. And so these are the things we're talking about, the Supreme Court, talking about election issues. So they cannot be trusted. That's the point. And again, if the court said, look, this is what's supposed to be done, okay, or give their judgment, then who will implement it? Nobody. The executive will not implement it. Yes, because the court will not implement their judgment. It is the executive that will implement their judgment. When Yar'Adua was the president of Nigeria, in 2007 he came on board. He admitted that, look, said the election that brought him in was marked by irregularities. He started the electoral reform, which Jonathan continued. Yes, President Goodluck Jonathan. And look, so when some of his party men, who through rogues and malpractices and everything, ascended to the office of the governors in various states, yes, like the River State, like the Anambra State, okay, so the Andy Obas, the Celestino Mejias, and so many of them, okay. When the tribunal will make judgment that, look, the election that brought so person in is marked by irregularity and therefore they vacate the person from office, okay, the executive at the federal level will implement. They will direct the state authorities, they will direct the security agents and the authorities to do the needful by making sure that the person vacates that seat to give way for the judgment that the Supreme Court has given, so that the rightful owner of that seat or the person that was voted for by the people will ascend to that place. And that was what happened. So in this case, Buhari has shown that, look, he's not ready to implement the judgments of the Supreme Court or the court of competent jurisdiction. Buhari has shown that he himself is not ready to obey the court judgment. How much more of asking court to implement judgment of, the judgments, the judgments. All right. So there's no faith in the court. There's nothing, there's no people have no confidence in the Supreme Court. What happens or what will happen in the near future is that there will be anarchy. So it's unavoidable. They have created it and it is there because you cannot just come from all of a sudden, okay, and you decide that, oh, you will change the goalposts at the middle of the game. All right, it's not done. Once that is done, what does happen? There will be attendant consequences. Yes, and as we're speaking, they're unavoidable. P2B have said, look, there should be calm, and he is going to the court. But one thing remains sure. All right, he cannot control the crowd. He cannot control the emotions of people. He has little, he can't do to control them. Little he can do to control them, because the future we're talking about is not the adult of people. It's for these youths. All right? Yes, it's for these youths. This man, P2B, if you check him, he's even better off. Okay? And so, but these youths, they are the people who are angry. Their future is being toyed with by these political elements, by these old foes, by these ancient serpents who masquerade in the causes of power to undermine their future, to mortgage their destiny. So they are angry and they can descend on these persons, these leaders. Yes, anytime soon, and that's what will happen, and that's what we are fearing. All right, so that's why we have been saying about the international community and their role in Nigeria. They have seen that there's no way this country can be united. The country is, in fact, have been fragmented, and the best thing to do is to, call a spade by its name. Support the referendum. Let us conduct this referendum and know people who want to stay and people who want to go out or opt out. That's all. Just like the election was conducted or the challenge, let us leave this thing and do this referendum once and for all, so that this chaos, this anarchy that is looming, that is coming and everything, it will stop.